And now it's putting family in perspective for me, now that my kids are leaving. We have these kids, they take up the whole house, and then before you know it, they're on their way out. And they don't even remember the first 5 years that you did all that stuff for them. They have no memory of it. Then the last 4 years are just trying to get away. So you get, 8 years in the middle? I'm not sure it's worth it. I told my daughter before she left, just so you know, I did all of this for you. I didn't want this house. I didn't want to live in this town. I didn't want any of these animals. I don't even have friends anymore. All my friends are your friends' parents. I did this all for you. And now you're going to go? I should go. You can have it all. Just give me a backpack with a Van Halen CD and some weed, and I'll go back to living the life I was living before I met you.
Your morning blitz begins now.
Waking up to a couple flurries this morning. Roads aren't too bad, but you're going to have to dust off your car.
Yeah, it seems like it was more than I expected, actually, on the roads. But, yeah, driving's fine.
Yeah, not too bad. Going to be a high of about 22 today. More teen temperatures in the overnight hours yet again. We will get a slight warm-up as we roll into the weekend, and early next week we'll actually get above freezing, close to 40 on Sunday, and then close to 50 come Monday and Tuesday. So a little bit of warm-up's coming. Hi, Kelly. How are you? Good morning.
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thick, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm interested in Kelly's vision.
Oh, you're interested in my vision, eh? I did have a little eyeball procedure yesterday afternoon, which somebody had asked why I wasn't doing traffic yesterday. That's why. I don't know how to describe it in just a little tiny blurb. But I will say that I had what's called a YAG laser capsulotomy yesterday.
Wow.
On my left eyeball.
That's funny because yesterday I was bored, so I decided to go drinking.
Uh-huh.
And I had a YAG too.
Okay. You mean a YAG? Yeah, so basically it's just a laser surgery. It takes about a minute. And they put like these laser openings in your lens capsule.
This freaks Goose out.
And yeah.
No. I'm telling you, when I go blind, I go blind. Whatever, cataracts, bad vision, I can't do contacts. I can't even fathom like touching my eyeball or laser. Or cataract, or not cataracts, LASIK, where they take they scalp off like the first layer.
Yeah.
What?
I almost swore.
I think really if you are at a risk of losing your vision and you can sort of see it starting to happen, you might change your mind.
Nope,
because
I will Helen Keller this before I do.
No.
And the thing about going blind, though, I mean, no more poker, no more watching football. No more playing golf.
And listen, they have some really lovely, lovely drugs to help you get the nerve to go through the procedures you need to go through.
Okay, if those are involved, fine.
Yesterday, mine was drug-free, but my actual initial surgeries on both eyes were absolutely just riddled with substances.
I don't even want to go to the ophthalmologist for an eye test because of that whatever they do with the thing.
Yeah.
What is that?
I think it's a cataract test.
That or glaucoma.
Or glaucoma, that's what it is. It's glaucoma. Okay. Yeah, you put your chin in there, and whatever this machine does, it just goes right in your eye.
That's the glaucoma test?
Yeah.
That's what because I've never had that
And then they do air pressure tests, but it's really easy to sit through those.
Nope.
They do little tiny puffs in your eye.
Nope, I'm good.
You don't want anybody near that.
I don't want anybody
I
near
have
my
had
eye.
so many people messing with my eyeballs over the last 6 months.
My eyes, my nipples, and my belly button. Leave them alone.
Really?
Yes.
All three?
All three.
Eyes, nipples, belly button.
Yep.
Okay.
I have like the sacred triangle that goes from the eyes down to the nipples, down to the belly button.
The sacred triangle.
Yes. Don't come near it.
So no piercings, no.
No. I can't even look at nipple piercings.
Wow.
Oh, I'll tell you. We'll get into it one day.
Let's get into that someday. I'd love to know what happened in your past to make you so queasy.
Involuntarily I don't want to use the word assaulted. That's a bit much. But I definitely forehead slapped a female one time.
Oh.
Because I didn't. She had kissed on the nipple area, and I can't. And I can't. Right across. I was like, no. Yeah. I'll tell you the whole thing.
So that relationship didn't work out.
It did not work out. No.
So you and I both love the movie Rockstar. So you must have freaked on the scene where Jennifer Aniston.
I didn't look.
Pierced his nipples.
I turned away. I can't look.
The Sacred Triangle.
The Sacred Triangle.
I think we could turn that into a T-shirt or of some kind. I don't know.
Yep. No. Also got to start with a listener question this morning. Doug texted in, said, question for Goose. You know how somebody goes blind and all their senses amplify? Is going bald kind of like that? Like, does all your other hair grow twice as much? Yes, we talked about this. My hair does not go up out of my head anymore. It comes down through my ears and nose. So that is absolutely true. You do get more hair. Let's go on a Thursday. Let's get to your Blitz Morning Trivia. Thick, what you got?
All right, over the weekend in New Haven, Connecticut, an odd sight. An animal spotted in the middle of the street. Very just bizarre to see this kind of an animal in the middle of the street in New Haven, Connecticut over the weekend. What kind of animal was it? If you're the first one to tell us at 99-700, we will give you $25 to go spend at Waterbeds and Stuff.
All right, let's get to the answer for today's Blitz Morning Trivia. Thick, what you got?
All right, the question was, this past weekend in New Haven, Connecticut, it was odd to see this animal in the middle of the road, and the answer is in this report right here.
So it's not unusual to find a lost dog or a stray cat on occasion, but it's not every day that you find a seal wandering the city streets, and that is exactly what happened this weekend in New Haven, Connecticut. The seal, thought to be 5 or 6 weeks old, was found in the middle of the street. The young pup was taken to the Mystic Aquarium for care and rehabilitation before rescuers try to release him back into the ocean.
Can you imagine? You're just driving down the road, and right in the middle of the street is a seal.
That is so weird because police officers in San Francisco just saved a sea lion that was wandering up a highway ramp in San Francisco.
Okay, that's even stranger.
Yeah. They coaxed it back to the San Francisco Bay and it swam off and everything's fine, but wandering so far away.
Right.
That's really weird. All right, who's our winner?
Can seals bite? Like if you went up to it, because they're cute.
They have teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, and sea lions can be mean. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the official difference between a seal and a sea lion.
I don't either.
But to the Googles.
Sean O'Keefe from Grove City was the first one to text in the correct answer, so Sean's got $25 to Waterbeds and Stuff and Beds and Stuff Superstores.
Seals and sea lions are marine mammals called pinnipeds. They differ in physical characteristics and adaptation, so they're a little different.
Yeah, the sea lions are much bigger.
Sea lions are brown, bark loudly, and walk on land using their large flippers. Aww. Seals have smaller flippers, wriggle on their bellies, and have visible ear flaps. Oh. So there you go. Learning you something this morning. Texts are rolling in. We were talking about Kelly's eye surgery yesterday. I mentioned my sacred triangle. Yes. My eyes, my nipples, my belly button. Don't go.
Do not touch area.
Yeah, do leave alone. No entry. Let's see. Jake says, I'm with Goose. Eyes are terrifying. I can't even watch someone else put contacts in. I agree. I can't either.
Okay.
Even worse is taking them out because you have to pinch them. Or people talk about the fact that the contact will roll up.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife has gone to bed not knowing what happened to the contact, and then she wakes up and it's still in there.
Oh.
And it's up. It's up above.
Oh. Yeah, that sounds awful.
What if it rolls all the way back?
I don't think that can happen.
Why not?
Because I think there's
stop eventually. Yeah. I mean, does it reach the?
Yeah, I think there's
can't float up into your brain
barrier there that it's not going to get through.
Justin said he has a similar thing with his belly button. He said I had a girl touch my belly button and I hip tossed her out of reflex.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gerald said it's making my eyes water just thinking about the air puffs into them. I've never had that done, so I don't know what that's like.
You haven't? You need to get your eyes checked.
How did you get glasses without getting your eyes checked?
Well, they're just readers.
Oh, those are just readers. They're not prescriptions?
Yeah, no, I don't have when I'm driving and stuff, I don't wear glasses.
Oh, yeah, you've got to have an eye exam. Please
Okay.
do that. Yes, yeah, because that can all be treated if you have it. Do you know what I mean? Just for your health. I'm just worried about your eyes.
Okay.
I just want somebody else to have their eyes messed with, just like me.
I mean, if you get your eyes checked, it might fix your wardrobe choices if you can actually see better.
What is that supposed to mean?
Just a bit.
Ooh, the burns are hot today.
It's the first day I've seen you in 2 weeks. You weren't wearing Michigan crap.
That is not true.
Isn't it, Kelly?
It was 2 days in a row that I did. I mean, granted, I could go
I know.
2.5 weeks, probably.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Says
I'm
the
sure
guy
you could,
wearing
too.
scarlet and gray.
I don't
We all
own any
can.
Michigan crap.
OSU
I
stuff.
know. Yeah,
Yes.
I could. I could go a month.
Okay,
I
yeah.
have tons of
Exactly.
endless.
Can I read Sharon's, or is it going to make you wait? This is
I don't even
awful.
know what it says, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Goose. This is going to make you squirm. She said, "Quit being a baby, Goose. I had a cat fall on my head and ripped through every layer of my cornea and lived to tell about it."
Oh, my God.
Oh, can you believe that?
Can you, was it repair? Like, can you repair that?
She
Does
just
that
said
heal?
she lived to tell about it. So I'm assuming she did. Rick texted in and said, "My brother left his contacts in for 5 days in high school, and he had to have them surgically removed."
Oh, my God.
Good God. That is awful.
Doug said, "I know a guy that does eye exams behind the speedway by the dumpster."
Yep, not even touching that one. Not at all. Well, okay. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the lady
Yes.
who had over 20 contacts removed from her eye?
Yeah.
How do you
Oh,
put
yes.
20 contacts?
I guess she must have just thought they kept coming out or something.
Do you
were
think they
just
dissolve
gone.
and go
I don't
away?
know. I don't know what she thought.
That makes no sense whatsoever. And at that point, because contacts do have some sort of thickness to them, obviously not very thick, but they've got something to them.
Yes.
20 of them stacked on top of each other, that'd be like the equivalent of like a mini Pringles can. Like you just got the potato chips stacked one on top of each other. That doesn't make any
Sitting
sense.
on your eyeball. Oh.
Yeah. How could you even close your eye if you have 20 contacts in? Or are they just all over your face? Like,
I
are they
think
in your
are.
eyes and stuff
I think
because they
pulled-
roll?
Yes, they pulled them out from behind.
So they can get back there, way back in there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm self-soothing right now. I'm like
You
rocking
are.
back and
yes,
forth.
You're doing, you're right.
I can't. We got moving along. Let's go. It's 997 The Blitz. Hit the button.
Not so breaking news. The news already broke. We're trying to put it back together.
All right. Most people, if you have a police record, one, not a good thing. Two, you would consider it like a rap sheet or how many times, you may have been arrested or convicted, but not William Pate Demers of Indianapolis. He just led the Indianapolis police on an 18-minute high-speed chase last weekend with speeds going into the triple digits. They actually ended up on Raceway Road in the neighborhood of the Indy Speedway there.
Okay.
He eventually pulled over and stopped and told the cops he was giving up because the officers chasing him were really good and he wanted to put an end to it before anyone got hurt. He said he took off because, well, he's a habitual traffic violator, and he always runs from the police because he's good at it. In
Wow.
fact, he says his police record is 6-3.
Wow.
He has
Not bad.
outraced the officers 6 times, but lost 3 times. He also says he's always been able to shake the Indianapolis police when he drives away. Until now, apparently, he was charged with resisting arrest and reckless driving. What's your record? 6-3. I mean, that's a pretty good record. 75% win percentage there.
I tried to dodge the cops once. One time.
You did?
I was in a neighborhood on campus. I knew I was getting pulled over. And because I saw the police officer turn around, so I'm like, oh no, not today. So I took off and just started making turns. Turn. Well, I mean, I got pulled over.
You didn't make it?
No, I didn't
get
make
away?
it. No, of course not. And the police officer was like, were you trying to dodge me? And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I don't know, you're making a lot of turns back there, weren't you? I go, yeah, where you? And he's like, where are you going? I go, home. He's like, where do you live? I go around here.
Around here.
How am I just hearing this story for the first time?
But he was cool. I mean, he gave me a ticket for speeding and, I went on my way. He didn't, make an issue of it, but I was obviously trying to escape detection.
Speaking of campus streets, a little side note here. So mad at campus right now.
Okay.
Because I had to go to the post office yesterday. So I just typed in post office and hit the button and followed my GPS to the closest post office, which happens to be inside of a building on campus. And so before I knew it, I was in the middle of campus. Oh. And of course it was 11:30. Students are everywhere. So every walkway you have to stop. The jaywalkers crossing the middle of the road. And I was so entwined in the campus road trying to get out. Finally, bounced out on High Street. And I was like, God, thank you.
So many one-way roads.
So many one-way
roads. I
roads.
hate to tell you this, but there is a gigantic post office about 2 miles down the road here.
Oh, great. Okay.
Twin Rivers Drive. So next time you have to go, let me know, and I'll give you the
good to know.
Proper one. It's just a straight shot, 2 miles. You could walk there if you wanted.
Because, actually what happened was I had to go to the bank first. So I think the bank obviously was closer than to campus, and that's where it took me. All right, on to your second story for Not So Breaking News. And this one is actually kind of sad. I don't know how they're going to solve this problem. I can't even fathom going through this as a woman. But this is a kind of almost a switched at birth story, but this is switched before birth story because a 38-year-old woman by the name of Christina Murray is actually suing her fertility clinic in Georgia because they implanted her with the wrong embryo.
Oh, no.
What? So she gave birth to someone else's baby. She used a donor to get pregnant in 2023 and gave birth that December. But she immediately knew something was wrong because, Christina's white and the baby is black. She selected a donor with dirty blonde hair and blue eyes, and obviously she knew the donor wasn't African American. Mm-hmm. So she took the baby home and cared for it anyways. She bought an at-home DNA test, got the results a month later, and sure enough, they confirmed her and the baby are not related. She told the clinic, and they figured out the embryo actually belonged to another couple who were clients at the fertility center.
Gosh.
So that couple had to sue Christina for custody, but Christina actually ended up giving up the baby on her own.
What, just willingly, yeah.
Just willingly. After 5 months.
Oh,
how much?
She had already breastfed the baby. She had already bonded with the baby.
She carried it for 9 months.
She carried the baby.
What did...
So now, Christina is going back and suing the IVF clinic for their mistake.
They need to pay up for that one.
So a lot.
Yeah.
Big.
God.
Where's her embryo? Did somebody else carry the one she was supposed to have?
It doesn't say in the report. The fertility place put out a statement saying they immediately did an in-depth review and put additional safeguards in place to make sure it never happens again. You think? But, I mean, what is that worth?
Yeah, I mean, $1 million right off the bat for trauma counseling, right? And then beyond that, we've got emotional damages. So you're basically shutting down as a clinic.
The emotional distress of going through something like that.
And then having to give up this baby. Like, you carried for 9, it may not have your DNA, but this is your child.
Right, absolutely.
Oh.
I mean, is that sort of a one and done mistake?
Yeah.
Like, you got to shut down.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to operate in the IVF business anymore.
Exactly.
That's just, I can't even wrap my head around something like that. There you go. That is your Not So Breaking News, 99.7 The Blitz. Coming up a week from today, OSU men's hockey is going to take on Michigan for Scarlet Night at the Shot, and we've got some tickets. In fact, I think we have 2 pair of tickets because we were so busy yesterday, we never got to give them away yesterday.
Yes, we have.
Right?
Yeah,
so
we have
2
an
pair.
extra. Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. 800-821-9970. I need 2 people right now. We're going to play Celebrity Smart or Dumb. Dumb's not a good word. Celebrity Smart or Troublemaker is what we'll call it. Because there was an interesting list of super smart celebrities that came out yesterday. And so we were kind of overlooking the article. I was like, well, who are some of the celebrities that got in trouble? So Thick did some research and found out celebrities who were actually expelled from school.
Ooh, I love it.
So, I'll test them on you while we're waiting for some calls. 800-821-9970 if you want to win some OSU men's hockey tickets. Kelly, here you go. Gina Davis, super smart or expelled from school?
I think she may be genius level smart. I think she's smart.
She is. She's actually a member of Mensa.
Okay.
And almost qualified for the Olympics in archery in 1999. I remember reading that article where she almost got qualified for the Olympics. Yeah, we ready? We got some. Let's go to the phones. The Blitz, hello. Hi, who's this?
Oh. Hey, what's up? It's Jeff.
Jeff. All right, Jeff, hang on the line. We got to get you a challenger here. Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
Hi, this is Sarah.
Sarah or Tara?
Sarah. With an S.
Sarah with an S. All right, very good. Okay, here's the deal. We're going to go back and forth. I'm going to give you a celebrity. You're going to tell me whether or not you think they're super smart or if you think they got expelled from school. And we'll find out who has the most points. We'll get you hooked up with OSU tickets. So, Jeff, you called in first. We'll start with you, okay? Here we go. Celebrities, smart or troublemaker. We'll start with Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe, of course, played Green Goblin and a whole bunch of other things. What do you think? Celebrity smart or troublemaker?
We'll go troublemaker.
Troublemaker. Yes, he was actually expelled from high school. You want to take a guess as to why he got expelled from high school, Kelly?
How about, I think that he put tacks on the teacher's chair.
He did not, no. It was actually filmmaking. He got in trouble for filmmaking.
Oh.
It just so happened to be a pornographic film. Yeah, so he got expelled from school for that. All right. Sarah, here we go. This one's for you. Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean. Oh, no, Mr. Bean. Oh, I'm sorry. That was my Siri phone going off. All right, Sarah, what do you think? Rowan Atkinson, celebrity smart or celebrity troublemaker?
Oh, smart.
Yeah, actually has a master's degree in electrical engineering.
He looks smart.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah.
He's so odd, and you're like, that guy's definitely like got a lot going on up in that noggin.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Jeff, here you go. Lisa Kudrow, most famous for Phoebe from Friends. Smart or troublemaker?
We'll go smart.
Smart is the correct answer. Yeah, she graduated with a biology major and got a job as a headache specialist. She even started working on a study concerning hemispheric dominance and headache types.
Wow.
Yeah, I had no idea.
And then made much more money singing Smelly Cat.
A lot more money, absolutely. All right, Sarah, here you go. Dexter Holland, the frontman for The Offspring. Do you think he is celebrity smart or celebrity troublemaker?
Troublemaker.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, the frontman for Offspring was actually the valedictorian in high school and later earned a PhD in molecular biology with his thesis on HIV research. Had no idea. That's like Brian May level stuff from Queen, astrophysics. All right, here we go. Jeff, this one's for you. Albert Einstein, celebrity smart or celebrity troublemaker?
Who?
Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein?
Yeah.
Troublemaker?
Yeah, he was a troublemaker.
That was a trick question.
Yep. He had a bad attitude, was reportedly very lazy in school, and he eventually took matters into his own hands and dropped out of school completely when he was 16 years old.
Because he was bored, probably.
I'm sure, yeah.
He was smarter than everybody there.
Someone interviewed Neil deGrasse Tyson and said, who is in the scientific community, who's considered the smartest person out there? And he said, unequivocally, without a doubt, Albert Einstein. And then started listing all the things he did. And then he goes, and then he turned 22. Like all the things he did before he turned 22. Wow. Unbelievable. All right, Sarah, here we go. This one's for you, celebrity smart or celebrity troublemaker. Snoop Dogg.
Like it's a trick question, so I'm going to go with smart.
No, he's a troublemaker.
Oh.
Yeah. Here's the thing. He got in a lot of trouble over the years, but he was even expelled from elementary school for indecent exposure. How can they even kick you out of elementary school? Like, I don't understand. What is 2 + 2 and name your 8 basic colors? That's all you need to get through elementary school. And he's expelled. But you know what? You guys did a great job. We'll get you both hooked up with OSU hockey tickets. How about that? Both you guys are going to be at the Shot next Thursday. See OSU men's hockey take on Michigan for Scarlet Night. So you enjoy. Hang on the line. We got to get some information from you, and we'll get you hooked up, okay?
Sweet, thanks.
All right, absolutely. I wanted to talk about this real quick. Being someone who really enjoys foods, I was bored yesterday, and I ended up rewatching Chef with John Farver. Have you ever seen that one?
Never.
Great movie.
Okay.
Highly recommended. And basically, he's an executive chef who goes on, I don't know, it's not like ruining the story, but, kind of gets let go and then opens up a taco truck. And it's a great little movie. And he mentioned something as he was this executive chef, and it got me thinking as someone who loves foods. Foods and drinks that have completely misleading names. Because in the movie, he mentioned sweetbreads. Have you ever had sweetbreads before?
Never.
Do you know what sweetbreads are?
I feel like there's some type of, I don't know, are they intestines or something weird? What is it?
So you're close, yes.
Okay.
If you're ordering sweetbreads, you're thinking, I don't know, maybe what they put down at Texas Roadhouse where you get the apple cinnamon butter or whatever
yeah,
it
or like
is.
the monkey bread you pull apart.
Yes.
It's got this, delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, sweetbreads is actually referring to organ meat, specifically the thymus gland or the pancreas out of young animals like calves or lambs, sometimes from pigs. Not something I would necessarily want to try.
No.
Also confusing and misleading, black pudding. Have you ever had black pudding before?
Black?
No. Is that like blood pudding?
Kind of. It's made from pork blood mixed with herbs and spices.
Yeah, good.
Why?
Yeah, right.
If you're giving me black pudding, I'm thinking maybe like dark chocolate
Yes,
pudding
right.
or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Nope. Blood mixed with various herbs and spices and either oatmeal or barley.
Who tries that for the first time?
Nope. I don't know.
Right. Who decided this is a
see how
good
this
thing
goes.
to taste? Yeah. What about head cheese?
That sounds, I don't even want to know.
You never had head cheese before?
Never.
Are you a big cheese person?
I like cheese. I'm not obsessed with it, but I do enjoy a cheese here and there.
Okay. Head cheese, well, it is not cheese. No, it's a dish primarily made from the head of a pig, although feet, tongue, and heart are also thrown into the
Gross.
meaty mix.
Again,
thank you.
why?
But it comes in like a loaf. They crunch it together, and it's this, and it's got like collagen, and it's just kind of. This one I know a lot about. I've actually had this one before. Never again. Rocky Mountain oysters.
Oh, I know what those are.
Those are not oysters.
No.
What are they, Kelly?
Are they deep fried nuts?
Yes.
Animal nuts?
Lamb?
Yep. Usually bull nuts.
Okay.
Yep.
It was a funny farm. He broke the record for lamb fries, they called them.
Right.
Chevy Chase.
Yep. Yes.
And he found out what they were.
And they are it's the consistency. You can't even describe the consistency. Like it's not.
How did you have occasion to taste test?
Well, in Colorado, they're everywhere.
Okay, so
I mean,
that's just like standard on a menu.
Oh, Rocky
Kind-
Mountain oyster, yeah.
kind of.
Okay.
There's a lot of restaurants, and they actually have Rocky Mountain Oyster Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
And-
somebody likes them.
Oh, they're a big deal, but they're not for me. It's I get it. It's deep fried. You get a nice little KFC coating on them.
Yeah.
But-
They taste bad?
It's not necessarily the taste; it's the consistency.
Yeah.
Because it's not
Is it chewy?
soft. Yeah, it's not
Ugh.
soft, but it's gamey.
Yeah.
You definitely gotta, apply pressure with your jaw to bite through them.
Yeah, I'm good.
A little
I'm
more
good.
than you would yeah. So
There's so many other things to eat.
there are so many other
This
things
kind
to
of
eat.
reminds me of calamari because sometimes you can get a really
Yes.
gummy, or not gummy, but
Yeah.
it kind of bounces off your teeth when
Yes.
you bite into it.
It's like
Ugh.
gristle.
But that's the thing. The thing about Rocky Mountain oysters is it's like that, but because they're bigger, you have to bite all the way through.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
We should order some. I'm going to get you guys some. I think you should give it a try.
I will try anything.
All right, fair enough. Might have to look into that. 98.7 The Blitz.
And now, all right,
isn't it?
3 things you need to know before you go.
Student brought a gun to Hayes High School in Delaware yesterday. Police say the 15-year-old was taken into custody after the school resource officer was informed that the student had the weapon. Officials say the gun was found in his backpack. He is in juvenile custody on charges of having a weapon in a school zone. Delta Airlines offering $30,000 each to passengers who were on board the flight that flipped on landing in Toronto Monday. So if all 76 passengers take them up on that, it will cost the airline about $2.3 million, which sounds kind of low.
It sounds way low.
Yeah, where does that number 30,000 come from?
Right.
Somebody figured it out.
Yeah.
Somebody sat in a room with a pen and pencil and
some
a pen and
insurance
paper.
adjuster.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, they used a pen and pencil. Trust me on that.
Oh, absolutely.
According to Delta, there are no strings attached to this money, and you don't have to give up your rights.
I would say don't sign a DNR.
NDA.
NDA, yeah.
Don't sign anything. Just hand me the cashola. That's how I would accept it. But of the 21 passengers hospitalized, all but one have been released. The injuries included back sprains, head injuries, nausea, and vomiting from fuel exposure. And then some were treated for anxiety. The cause of the plane's overturning remains under investigation.
So I'm guessing those people will get their medical bills paid for, right?
I would assume.
That doesn't come out of the 30.
Oh, yeah. I would assume.
Yeah, I
I
would
don't
hope
know
so.
for sure, but yeah. Thailand says thousands of people from numerous countries have been rescued from scam centers right on the other side of its border with Myanmar. About 7,000 people were rescued from the illegal operations, and they're waiting to be transferred to Thailand and then on to their home countries. But for years, you guys have probably heard of these scam centers. But these crime syndicates will lure people looking for jobs to Thailand, kidnap them, and then take them across the border to Myanmar, where they force them to work in these call centers to scam people.
Wait, these are the people that are calling us?
It could be. They absolutely could be. There are thousands. This has been an operation for years. These people are forced to work 20-hour days, and they are beaten and given electric shocks when they don't meet targets.
Jeez.
So the reason they found this latest batch of 7,000 is because this Chinese actor who had been promised a role in a movie that shot in Thailand. He flew to Thailand, and upon arrival and meeting the, quote, movie producers or whatever, they kidnapped him, brought him over the border to Myanmar, shaved his head, and then started him on his, onboarding to the scam center. And his family freaked. Because he was an actor, I guess a little more high profile, they found him 3 days later, and then basically this big investigation started. And so they've rescued 7,000 people, but there are so many more people that family members say, yeah, our daughter went for a job interview in Thailand, and we haven't seen her since. Yes.
Man, I keep scratching. Yesterday it was Australia. I scratched off the bucket list in terms of places to visit. I think Thailand's off the bucket list now, too.
Don't go for a job interview in Thailand,
No.
for sure.
I don't even want to leave the country, man.
And that's
scary.
that's so unfortunate when things like that happen, because, of course, you do have the other ones where they're purposely doing it. They're going into these call centers to call and scam people.
Yep.
You ever go online and watch the scammers who get scammed?
Yes.
These professional hackers and stuff that go in and infiltrate their video cameras, or they hack in and they take their money away.
Yes.
Oh, so good. So good. That's really unfortunate, though.
Yeah, it's super sad. All right, those are your 3 things.
All right, we've got a follow-up to a story that kicked off last summer when the Ohio Supreme Court upheld the dismissal of a lawsuit from a man who was seeking compensation after sustaining a throat injury when his boneless wings contained a piece of bone. The Ohio Supreme Court ruled in a 4-3 decision that stated individuals can, and I quote, reasonably assume that pieces of bone are a possibility in boneless wings.
Oh my gosh, you've already said bone too many times.
You say it all the time.
I know, but it's going to make me laugh. It's hard to take it seriously. Go on. Go on.
You just talked about how you got boned yesterday.
I know. I'm not offended. I'm just saying that I'm going to be about 12 years old here during the story.
All right, well, I don't agree that you can reasonably assume you're going to get boned if you have boneless wings.
Thank you.
The case was originally by a judge, not a jury. So now, William DeMora, state senator, has introduced Senate Bill 38, the boneless wing bill, which would mandate that juries, not judges, determine the liability of restaurants and food providers by deciding whether the injured individual had, and I quote, reasonable expectation that the food did not contain a substance that is injurious to human health.
A bone.
A bone.
Okay.
Sometimes you get hurt by the bone.
Yeah. Yep. I'd rather get boned by a jury than a judge because
you'd rather
at
have 12.
least
You'd
you have
rather
more of a
12 people
chance.
bone you
Yes.
than just one.
Yes. Yeah. At least there's a chance.
Okay.
There's a chance things are going to go your way.
There's a better chance.
Yeah.
There's a better chance you're going to get what you want
Yes.
if you're boned by 12 people
Yes.
instead of boned by one.
Get boned by a jury of your peers. Yes.
Okay. You will come to the conclusion better with 12 people boning you
Right.
than just one boning you.
That's right.
Is that what you're saying, Kelly?
am.
You'll reach your goal.
You will reach your goal. You will get to that
Better chance
finish
of it.
line quicker
Right.
if you're being boned by 12 people
Yeah.
instead
Yes.
of boned by one.
That's right.
Okay. Whether or not this bill is going to pass or not, as of a couple days ago, the bill was referred to the Senate Judiciary Committee. So hopefully, sometime in the very near future, Kelly will get you what you want. And she will be assured of boning by 12 people instead of one singular bone. This did make me think, though, about this bill. Kelly, do you prefer bone in or bone out?
I do not like meat.
Oh,
I will,
okay.
but if I had to, I'd say bone out. I don't remind me anymore that I am like chewing on something that used to walk around and be cute.
Are you one of those people that don't like meat off the bone? Like ribs, chicken
No,
wings?
I don't.
Just
I
meat
do
in
not
general.
want any type of bone. I don't. I want it bone free. Yes.
Think you bone in or bone out?
In.
Yeah. I don't even like
And
I don't
listen-
even like boneless chicken wings.
No.
One, the meat to breading ratio is way off.
Right.
And not to mention they're just not as good.
Okay. Yeah, I'd prefer my meat really overdone, like jerky, and shredded too. So I need it to be as indistinguishable from an animal as possible. And it has nothing to do with it being an animal. Yes, it does. It has everything to do with being an animal. I don't hate that. I get that
Like a
people eat
drumstick?
animals.
You won't eat
Like,
a chicken leg?
I'm not vegan. Like I'm not upset about humane eating of meat. But I don't want to do it. It makes me sad.
So you don't
It has to be shredded and indistinguishable from an animal. I don't want bones anywhere near me.
So you don't want to go to the steak processing center?
No, sir.
No.
No.
Okay. All right, very good. So I was just wondering. 99.7 The Blitz. Hey, welcome to your Wednesday. Going to be a high of about 22. Is it still... Oh, it doesn't look like it's flurrying anymore. Woke up to a little snow this morning. Looks like it kind of cleared out. Might have a few little snow showers off and on throughout the day. Back into the teens coming up tonight. All right. From the files of why can't this ever happen to me? You're staring outside pretty hard there.
I am. I wanted him to lift the blind so we could see if it was flurrying outside our window.
Wait, holy hell, we got automatic blinds in the studio?
Yeah.
Believe that? Isn't it beautiful?
Wow.
Yeah.
They went all Richie rich. They can't spend money on somewhat decent coffee, but they put in automatic blinds in the studios.
Ah, there it is. I've been waiting for the coffee to come up since he got here.
Yeah, how are you feeling? Give us an update on how you're feeling about that coffee.
It's
Yeah, that's okay. We know. We know.
Not the best coffee.
I think that I do not have discriminating taste when it comes to coffee because I load it up so much with milk and sugar.
Yeah, that doesn't count. I say
Yeah.
I drink black coffee,
Yep.
so I know
So
the
you could
difference
tell.
between different coffees.
Yeah.
This is a step above Starbucks.
Oh.
Or he doesn't like
Because-
Starbucks.
no,
you
sorry,
hate
yeah, I hate
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
Starbucks is too acidic and
Yep.
too dark and too
Ugh.
burnt.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
not like
And
it
this
at all.
is kind of the
Just
same thing.
a little better, but not
Yeah.
much. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, most people at Starbucks are getting just a little tiny coffee with all the other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're not really getting a black coffee at Starbucks. Anyways, all right. Back to the story. From the files of Why Can't This Ever Happen to Me, a Virginia woman was in a convenience store catching up and grabbing a few things when she also bought herself a little scratchy ticket. She enjoys the scratchers, but then she got mad because the cashier gave her the wrong scratchy ticket. We have our favorites. If you're going to buy one, you're like, I want this one.
Yeah.
And then you're handed the wrong one, but you're already rung up. You've already paid for it. I don't know the exchange policy on scratchy tickets.
I feel like you don't get your money back on that. Like, you have to eat that one.
Right.
The cashier's mistake is now your lottery ticket.
Because they're so carefully, registered and scanned and kept track of that once that thing is ripped and scanned and sold, that's it. However, she got over her anger pretty quickly when she went to her car and scratched off and found out she won $2 million.
Oh, nice. Oh.
$2 million will cure a lot of anger.
I mean, don't you have to give the cashier a little something after that mistake?
Isn't that like tipping at the casino when you hit a big jackpot?
I mean,
But don't they get something anyway?
Well, the store does.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about just the cashier.
I'm saying the cashier probably got like an earful from this woman. She was so mad.
Right.
And then when she went out and found out she won $2 million, you got to make that right in some way.
You got to throw, because you're walking away with 1.2, 1.3 million out of that. You got to throw her 50 grand.
I'm going back and give her something.
I was going to say $1,000. You're really, really generous.
$1,000?
Yes.
That's all you're giving
the
cashier that made a mistake and gave you the wrong ticket, and you now have $1.3 million to your
but
name.
you know how many times she sold me a ticket where I didn't win jack?
By the way, sorry everyone. It's Thursday, not Wednesday. Apparently I said Wednesday.
Did you?
But everyone's texting in. So,
okay,
$1,000.
You would give her 50 grand.
I would give her 50 grand.
I mean, that's a high percentage. 50 grand, because you're talking about
It's 5%, not even 5%. It's 3%.
that. To me, to a stranger, is a lot.
You just gave me $1.2555 million.
Yeah,
I did that math wrong, but you know what I'm saying.
I need to figure out how much I berated this person and how much I now owe for said beration.
Are you giving her 50 grand if you didn't berate her, or is that because you berated her you're giving her that much?
If I got the wrong ticket and I went, oh man, that's not the one I wanted, and then won $2 million, I'm still giving her 50 grand.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give this person. I mean, to a lot of people, 50 grand would be somewhat life changing money. I mean,
sure.
you're going debt free.
Oh, yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
them
really
life-changing
love
money.
your generosity here. It's making me feel so stingy.
I mean, I'll give her like 10 grand.
10 grand?
That's the top, though, I think.
Oh,
She's
I really
a stranger.
need to
I don't know her. She just did her job.
Yeah, but you were probably really ticked off at her, and you probably left in a huff and slammed the door or muttered under your breath what an incompetent, uneducated person you had. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of all the mean things you could say to somebody.
So if you won $500 million from the Powerball, are you going back and giving like $5 million of that to the person that sold you the ticket?
No, that's different.
No,
because I selected the Powerball or I did the random draw.
Right.
And that's it.
And you got what you wanted and walked
exactly.
out.
But if there was an exchange between me and the person, again, especially if I berated him, but if we laughed about the fact, and not only that, it's only because if I got the ticket I wanted, I'm not getting that money. It's because of this person.
You're right.
That I won the $2 million.
You are right. You are so right. I might go up as high as Thick Rick. 10 grand. I don't know if I can be convinced to do 50.
She's going to lose it. She's going to be so ecstatic over $10,000.
I'm sure she would be ecstatic over $1,000. I'm not saying she wouldn't be ecstatic.
No, but then
I'm not saying that at all.
You're treating her like, oh, let me toss you some change, you pauper.
It is. I mean, again, it is literally only because of this person that I have this.
I love it.
$1.3
I
million.
love your generosity. In an honest moment, I'm just saying I don't know that I am that generous. I hope I would be in the moment. I do, because you're right. It's only because of her that you have any money at all.
Yeah.
Out of this lottery.
Just saying.
You're so generous.
I do what I can. All right. You start making a little bit of money. You're an adult. You've always wanted this one thing. So I want to know, what did you spend your adult money on? 800-821-9970. 99-700. I bring it up because I was watching Gladiator 2 the other night. And in the opening of the movie, two armies are coming together, and the boats are coming in from the water, and they're defending their Rome, and they have these catapults. The official name, the trebuchet, which is that weighted catapult that slings down and it flings the big flaming pots, the cannonballs over. And about 20 years ago, I had a coworker. We did a morning show together, and he bought a trebuchet. He bought a 6-foot trebuchet, which would launch, whatever you put in it. It had offsetting weights, and we took it, and he would launch into a field, and he would just chuck things from his trebuchet.
Like, how far and high would it go?
It would go pretty far. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking probably football field length.
Wow.
I mean, it would definitely go.
Wow.
And I remember when I moved out and I was, after college and all that kind of stuff, I went to Circuit City when I got my Circuit City credit card, and I bought the Bose home surround system. It had the 2 swivel speakers, 2 in the back, 2 in the front, had the subwoofer. I wanted that surround sound. And at the time, Bose was like it was the highest end thing out there that you could buy. I think I spent like $2,800 on it.
Nice.
It was expensive. Oh, I couldn't afford it, but I mean, it was nice to have for sure. What did you spend your adult money on, Kelly?
Well, my problem is that I got a credit card when I was getting my adult money.
Yeah.
So I got in a massive credit card debt because I was just buying anything I wanted.
I did the same thing.
It was nuts. One time I went, the biggest thing I can think of is that I had a friend coming in from Kansas. She was going to stay, and I did not have like an extra bed. I had my bed, I had an extra bedroom, but no bed in it. So I'm like, let me buy a futon. Okay, so I went into this like mattress store. I bought the most expensive futon they had. I upgraded the mattress on it to the best mattress because I'm like, that's a guest.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cheap out. Except I did buy a futon, which is way cheaper than a bed.
Back in the day, a futon was,
it was all right. It was, it had a really nice sturdy frame and all that, but it was, to be honest, I can't even remember how much it cost, but I do remember it set me over the edge to where I don't think I ever paid for it, honestly. I think.
But the thing about that, though, is that is actually somewhat reasonable because you had an extra bedroom. You do have friends coming over. Like, you needed the extra. That was a responsible purchase, kind of. I mean, yeah. If I were to have been responsible with a credit card, you're exactly right. It would have been like a nice thing. Right. But that was one of the purchases that sort of put me over the edge of not being able to pay my monthly payment. Yeah, I got a $5,000 instant approval, and I ran that thing up quick. Yeah. 800-821-9970. What did you spend your adult money on? 99.7 The Blitz. Good morning. Who's this? Michael, what did you spend your adult money on?
A 500 PSI potato launcher.
We just had a potato gun conversation not that long ago, a couple days ago. How far did it shoot the potatoes?
About 2 football fields.
Wow. Oh my gosh, do you still have it?
Yes.
500 PSI.
Wait, can you tell me where you got it? I am very interested.
I got it off of Amazon about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Is yours not as powerful,
I need to upgrade, I think. If yours is going 2 football fields, I definitely need an upgrade.
Now, Kelly said hers still uses like aerosol or hairspray in hers before the ignition. Do you do the same thing, or is it all like preloaded, ready to go?
No, you have to have like a air compressor, and like you fill up this big metal like a big metal tank.
Okay.
You just pull a lever, and it freaking just poof.
And it launches it. And you have to have an air compressor. Are you walking around like a Ghostbusters proton pack? You just got like an air compressor on your back, ready to go?
I wish. It's doing like a one-shot thing, so like
Okay.
But that shot is glorious.
Yeah.
Well, you have to have an air compressor nearby.
What, besides launching it in the air, what have you hit? Have you hit something with a potato? Does it do
All right,
damage?
You guys have a wonderful and blessed day.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to talk about that. Well, you too. Talk to you later. Bye.
Spend some prison time on
Yeah,
that one.
he's like, nah, I can't talk about that. I got to go. Text rolling in. Richie says, my Harley Davidson. That's a good one. Let's see. My wife and I bought 3 emus last week.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
Jimmy.
interesting.
That's an interesting
They
adult
watch
money
too
purchase.
many commercials, huh?
Right. Does a discount on car insurance come with that if you have 3 of them?
Charlie and I bought a 40-inch television, flat screen. It was our first flat screen. It was like $1,800.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best purchases we ever made. But, man, that thing had cost you, what, $350 now?
Oh, yeah, not even.
800-821-9970. You can choose to text 99700. The Blitz. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, this is George.
George, what did you spend your adult money on?
I spent $300 on a large black steel sword.
Ooh.
I knew we were going to get some sword calls.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, is it a replica of something, or is it just something that you had made?
Yeah, it's a replica from a show I used to watch, from a cartoon when I was a kid. I got to chase somebody out of my house with it.
Wait, hold on. Wait, let's go. Hold on. Which show was it first?
This was One Piece.
One Piece. Okay.
That was a show?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you chased someone out of your house with your sword.
Yeah, so I was living over on campus a couple years ago, and I'm gaming with my friend, and someone kind of just walks into my bedroom.
You didn't know this person?
No, not at all. I was living with my brother at the time, and he walks in my room, and he says, "Kyle?" I says, "Who the heck is Kyle?" I stand up, and I'm already like pretty intimidating. I'm 6'9".
Oh my!
So I stand up, and my sword's hanging on the wall right in front of me. So I grab it, and I was like, "Kyle doesn't live here, bud."
What are you, the mountain from Game of Thrones? 6'9", holding a sword. I am instantly pooping my pants. Yeah, it's just falling out. There is no control over that. Thank you so much for the call, man. Have a great one. 99.7 The Blitz. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
This is Casey speaking.
Casey, what did you spend your adult money on?
I ended up spending my hard-earned work money after becoming an adult, and ended up saving up all of that to get a 2011 Mustang.
Ooh,
nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's... What, 2011, was it new at the time?
No, it wasn't new. I actually just got the car this year. I work at a dealership, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a very irresponsible decision right now, and let's go buy a Mustang.
Yeah, but if you've always wanted one, I don't consider it irresponsible. I think that's great.
Oh, come on, yeah.
That is
Absolutely.
awesome. Well, congratulations.
It's incredibly fast and dangerous.
Yeah, that's the only way to go. Because I've looked into it a couple times, because I've always wanted kind of a sports car, but like I don't want like if I'm going to do it, I want the V8. I don't want the V6.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get into it. Is there another one on there? All right. In just a moment, because we haven't asked yet, and you giggled when I asked the question, Kelly, what did you spend your adult money on? We haven't heard what Thick has spent his adult money on. So we are going to get to that and more of yours at 800-821-9970 and 99.700 coming up in 3 minutes. 99.7 The Blitz. 99.7 The Blitz. Blitz Mornings. Goose, Kelly, Thick, Rick. What did you spend your adult money on? Tina's on the phone. Tina, good morning.
Good morning.
What did you spend your adult money on, Tina?
I spent $1,800 at Hammond Electronics for a jamming stereo for my car so I could listen to the Blitz.
Yeah! I did that. In fact, I feel bad because it wasn't my money. Thank you so much for the call, Tina. I'm so glad you're cranking it up and listening. Back in growing up, you got to put a system in your car. You had to have the subwoofers. You had to have the amplifier. You had to have the Pioneer disconnect faceplate radio. And I dropped a little bit more money than I should because my mother gave me permission my senior year as I was getting ready to graduate to put a radio in my car. Because you went to the local,
and make an
Mickey
appointment.
Shore,
Yeah.
Best Buy or Circuit City had the audio installation, and they had sales for like $99 radios, and she said I could get one, but then I couldn't turn away from the amplifier, from the subwoofers, and about $900 later, she was not all too thrilled that I spent that much. All right, we've asked everyone. We've gotten some great texts we're going to get to, but before we get to those, Thick, what did you spend your adult money on?
Well, my answer was my Pro bass boat. That was...
Okay, that's a good adult money purchase,
But that's not the story Kelly wants me to tell you.
Okay.
Kelly wants me to tell you about 19-year-old me who got my first credit card, which was a JCPenney credit card, with a $1,200 limit, I want to say is what I had. So I used $1,050 of that on this gold ring.
With a diamond in it.
It had a diamond in it, like a legit gold ring.
Like 19-year-old Thick Rick saw a diamond ring he had to have at JCPenney.
Just one center diamond? Like,
well, no, you had to see it. I mean, it was a really cool ass ring. And I was like, I'm going to wear that. Yeah, I want that.
Now, you wore it around like you were probably like you were a stud in Grove City's biggest stud with a diamond ring out there.
I was like your John Travolta in your favorite movie.
Yes,
strutting.
That's right. You were strutting.
Did you purposely reach for things with that hand just so people would see the ring?
Of course.
Did you wear it on your right hand or your left hand?
Right hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't want the ladies to think you were married.
Finger.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't that much longer after that. I ended up badly in need of money and sold it for about $300. And Kelly loves that story.
Bad investment. 7234. I love this. $1,500 on a 10-inch telescope and accessories.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
That is good.
Let's see. Hessler says I bought a Bugatti, a Ferrari, and a Lamborghini. Lego sets.
Well, those are expensive.
Yes.
Jeff Smith said I spent $2,200 building 3 rifles.
Okay.
All right. There you go. What, do you just buy the pieces separately and then you put those bad boys together?
Yeah, I have to assume so. If you know how to build them, yeah. Let's see. Robert says a 4-inch lift and 35-inch tires, front bumper, rear bumper, 1-ton steering for all my Jeep accessories. Wow, you just jacked your Jeep up. Okay.
That's nice.
I like that. What? 6210 says an airplane. Finally got one at 50 years old. You bought an airplane?
Airplane.
Well, I guess you can buy. Yeah, you can buy a Cessna.
Like a Cessna, yeah.
Absolutely. I would absolutely buy one if I had that.
A lot of people saying they bought tons of concert tickets. Like that's what they were spending their adult money on. Concerts. Yeah.
Leah says I spend my adult money on vacation. I went to Vegas pretty much every other year for the past 5 years. I like that. I would love to spend more of my money on vacations.
And now, 3 things you need to know before you go.
All right, we were talking earlier, I don't know, some weeks ago about Ohio lawmakers working to adjust the voter-passed marijuana laws because they want to limit the number of dispensaries in the state. They want to reduce the potency of the marijuana products available, and they want to reduce the number of homegrown plants from 12 to 6.
Leave us alone.
So listen, one Ohio Senator, Nathan Manning, he has introduced a bill that would double the amount of THC that you can have in your system when you're behind the wheel.
Okay.
So he's going in the opposite direction.
Okay.
There we go, guy.
So his whole thing is, you can be convicted of an OVI even if you're not under the influence because THC can remain in your system for weeks without affecting you. And current testing doesn't accurately show impairment. So he says, I guess right now a driver can be arrested for 2 nanograms of THC per milliliter in their blood or 10 nanograms in urine. This guy, Manning, is proposing to raise the amount from 2 to 5 nanograms in the blood and from 10 to 25 nanograms in urine. So don't know how much support he has for this bill, but it is introduced.
I get it, but... Look, it is potent enough. How high do you have to get?
That's not the point. The point is, if I get high today, right, and I don't smoke again for 3 weeks, and I take a pee test, I'm going to be above the legal limit.
I get that. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not right.
There's got to be some more accurate testing. I mean, obviously if you're smoking or eating edibles or whatever, don't get behind the wheel. But you're right. If it comes up a week later, that's not exactly fair.
Right. And see, I always thought that's what one of the biggest problems, as far as when it came to legalizing it was, they had no way to test like with a breathalyzer. Like you do with a breathalyzer. What do you do for weed? how do you know? So that's where the biggest problem is.
And I wonder if is the solution to raise the amount allowed in your system, or is it to figure out how you can determine if somebody's impaired?
That's the thing. Also, it has gotten so potent and so strong. It's just like how much do you need? When I walked into the dispensary and I saw the jar and it was labeled Zeus's right nut, it's like that is too strong. I don't feel like I need to be hit by a lightning bolt.
I haven't heard of that strain, but I want to find that.
Like, I get it. I get it for like the kids that want to that have to study and concentrate. We had Doobie Howser MD, which was fine,
right?
But yeah, you're getting to levels that are just way too much.
Yeah. All right, researchers at the University of Virginia believe they have made a promising discovery that could help reverse baldness. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Investigation details recent tests done on a protein called CROX-20, KROX-20. The tests show that stem cells containing that protein may be responsible for hair growth, and everybody, even people who are balding or bald, have those proteins underneath the scalp. So they're trying to figure out, how do you reactivate that protein and then grow hair? I don't know if it's a stem cell injection. Would you get that done?
Probably not.
You are able to rock a bald head.
See, I'm okay with my bald head. I remember when my hair started to go, when I got the widow's peak and that the hairline was really creeping back, because I used to have a lot of hair. I used to be able to pull my hair over my nose in the front. I had big, huge curls, and I would use the product, and I would have those tight curls going on. But as I started to lose it, I would stand in the mirror and I would flatten out my head on my hand on my forehead, and I would pull my hair back as far as I could to see, kind of determine what I would look like with no hair. Yeah. But I'm fairly thankful that even doing a no guard shave is okay for me.
Yeah.
So would I do it? Probably not. I don't feel the necessity to.
Like, you don't want people messing with your eyes. We talked about early in the show.
Right.
Like, your no eye things for you.
No eye things.
I am like, I don't want any scalp injections or anything. That feels.
I don't either.
What about you, Thick?
Or they cut it from the back and then they put it in the front.
Transplant.
No, I'll just go bald.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Who cares? Nobody cares about hair that much, do they?
I don't think so.
All right. I have another story, but I know we're running late on time, so maybe I'll bump it to next hour. Is that okay?
Sure.
Right. Those are your three
Do
things.
That. All right, here we go. Pair of tickets for this super exclusive intimate acoustic event with Star Set. Hometown Boys coming back to the Brewdog Tap in Canal Winchester next Wednesday. All ages show, $125 a ticket. It's going to be a great night. And we've got Jeremy on the phone. Jeremy, good morning.
Morning.
All right, Jeremy, for these tickets, we are going to play a game called Asteroid or Ass on Roids. This is how the game works. I'm going to give you characters from a movie. I'm going to name off some characters that were in a movie. And it's either a movie involving an asteroid, or it's like an 80s action film with an ass on roids. All right? We'll see how you do. We'll try and get you hooked up with those tickets. So here we go. Your first characters. Riker, Vilos Cohagen, and Douglas Quaid. Is that a movie about asteroid? What's that?
Asteroid?
No, that's Ass on Roids. That's Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he played Douglas Quaid. Okay, let's try this one. Characters named Jenny Lerner, Leo Biederman, and Tom Beck. Is that
Ass on Roids?
No, that's Asteroid. That was Deep Impact.
Yeah, that's
the movie Deep Impact. Yeah. All right, let's try this one. Hawkins, Billy, Dylan, and Dutch. Hawkins, Billy, Dylan, and Dutch. Is that Asteroid or Ass on Roids?
Ass on Roids.
Yes, that's Predator. Yes, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator.
Ain't got time to bleed.
Dylan, you son of a bitch. All right. Let's go with this. Quan, Perrette, Raymond Tango, and Gabriel Cash.
Asteroid?
No, that's Ass on Roids. That's Tango and Cash. A very underrated movie.
Very underrated.
With Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell. Great movie, Tango and Cash. All right, let's try this one. Jason Orlean, Randall Mindy, and Kate DiBiase.
Asteroid.
Asteroid is the correct answer, yes. That's that Netflix movie, Don't Look Up, with Leonardo DiCaprio. Great movie if you haven't seen it. It's a trip. All right, let's go with this one. Brad Wesley, Wade Garrett, and James Dalton. Asteroid or Ass on Roids?
Asteroid.
No! Ass on Roids! I think you were laughing. What movie is that?
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse, absolutely. Roadhouse. All right, let's give you another chance. Bear, Rockhound, and AJ Frost.
I think Asteroid.
Asteroid is correct. That's Armageddon, of course.
Yeah.
Armageddon.
As soon as you said bear.
Yep, you knew right off the bat. All right, one last one. Kurt Zagon, Dolores Jackson, and Nico Toscani. Characters in the movie, Asteroid or Ass and Roids?
Ass and Roids.
Ass on Roids is the correct answer. That is Steven Seagal above the law. Now,
Nico, there it was.
Yeah, Nico. I don't know if I would consider him ass on roids because he was always kind of chubby. Like he was never
a dad
like,
bod.
Yeah,
always had a dad bod.
Straight up dad bod martial artist. But you know what, Jeremy? Just for playing along, you got a couple right. We'll hook you up with the tickets for Star Set's intimate acoustic event at Brewdog Tap. All right.
All right.
All right. You enjoy. Hang on 1 second. We'll get some info from you. It's 99.7 The Blitz.
Not so breaking news. The news already broke. We're trying to put it back together.
All right, this is an odd story. If you're a fan of Home Alone, you might appreciate this story a little bit. Coming out of, it doesn't say exactly. New York. Okay, the suburbs of New York. Paul Howell is 56, and he was prowling around the back of a house around 3 a.m. last November, but he was tripped up, literally, by a Home Alone style booby trap, which involved a string, which pulled down a bucket of water, which soaked his pants and shoes, and made a lot of noise, which then caused Howell to flee the area. But the problem was, to flee, he kind of had to go through this garden-esque type area, which then left muddy footprints and kind of muddied up his shoes, which then allowed the police a week later to find him and identify him because he also has quite the rap sheet and was wanted for other crimes and robberies. But all because of this booby trap style Home Alone type contraption, they were able to get shoe size. They found his muddy shoes in that. If you got muddy shoes after a robbery, wash your shoes.
Yeah, that sounds pretty. Like that's step one.
Yeah, when they went to arrest him, he still had the muddy shoes in his apartment.
Couldn't be bothered.
Right, exactly.
Here's what I wonder.
Get rid of the evidence.
When you're setting up that kind of booby trap, you're obviously why? It's in your backyard. You probably have some kind of small grow operation. It's nothing big enough to bring out the big guns, but you don't want people messing with it. I mean, if there's something going on back there. Why was that guy back there? Why did they set up a weird water booby trap?
Well, he was seen on camera trying to wiggle the door and get in the house.
To get in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was an attempted robbery. And again, this man was wanted in 2 separate burglary offenses from the previous week. And so now they have caught the man after wading through all the dirt. He also had 108 previous convictions, including 25 burglaries dating back to 1986.
How are you not in jail?
You guys give up or you're thirsty for more?
108 previous convictions since 1986. What happened to isn't it 3 strikes and you're out? What happened to this man is I'm sorry, you have no use to society whatsoever.
Yeah, we don't need you out here walking amongst the rest of us at
Yes.
this point because you're just trying to rob all of us one by one.
Pretty much. Speaking of records, this man by the name of William Pate Demers from Indianapolis has a record, a police record, but it's not what you think because you're thinking rap sheet or a list of offenses you may have partook in, but no, he's got a different kind of record. William led police on an 18-mile high-speed chase last weekend with speeds reaching triple digits. They actually ended up on Raceway Road, which is where the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is. Yeah. He eventually pulled over and stopped and told the cops that he was, and I quote, giving up because the officers chasing him were really good and he wanted to put an end to it before anyone got hurt. He said he took off because he is a habitual traffic violator who always runs from the police because he's good at it. And he says his police record is 6-3.
6 wins, 3 losses?
3 losses, yes.
Nice.
He's looking at it as a win-loss record, which, 6-3, you're sitting at a 75% win percentage.
Yeah, your odds are pretty good that you're going to get away.
Yeah. Am I doing that math right? No, 66.6.
No, 66.
Yeah, 66.66%. He also said he's always been able to shake the Indy police when he drives away. Until now, apparently, he was charged with resisting arrest and reckless driving. So that's not the right police record you're supposed to have.
No.
There you go. That's your not-so-breaking news, 99.7 The Blitz. All right, I saw this story, and it got me thinking, because, I spent time back in college and, in times of need for extra money. I was a server and a bartender. I've actually worked every job there is to do in a restaurant. Front of house, back of house. I've done them all. Not only that, but for a year, I actually owned a small restaurant.
Yeah, you know the business.
Yeah, when I was in Colorado. And, servers always have stories. I'm a firm believer that everyone should be a server or bartender or customer service agent for at least a year. You'll learn a lot. You'll start accepting a lot of things that you may not have accepted before. Certain things that are important, mistakes at a restaurant. You'll kind of let things go a little bit easier. But I saw this survey, and I'm not exactly sure why they did this survey and this new poll, because this question seems a bit odd. But is it unacceptable for someone to take home a pen from the restaurant?
Just sign the check with?
Yeah. Don't take the server's pen.
No.
They only have so many.
Yeah. Those aren't unlimited.
You're not at a bank.
8% of people said it was okay to take the pen from the restaurant. Why would you take the pen? I don't understand that. You all of a sudden need a pen on your date night? Like, I don't get it.
Is it a good pen? Because there are differences. Is it a good
True.
pen? You sign your name on that bill and you're like, this is the best pen
It just rolls nicely. But that's even worse if you take the good pen.
Take a picture of it and go buy your own.
Yeah, that's true. You could do that. I wouldn't steal one. Not on purpose anyway. I've got a lot of good pens at home. I don't really need the server's pen, but I do, from time to time, use a pen that I am really jealous of.
Absolutely.
Try this one, Kelly.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's the same pen I have. Yeah, the rollerball is a much nicer pen.
Nice.
I order boxes of them from Amazon, so I never run out of them.
Bic, what velocity?
Your mental note?
It's okay. Here's a brand new one.
You just
I
gifted
tried
her
to
a
steal
pen.
his pen, and instead he gave me a new one.
She was going to keep my pen.
Uh-huh.
She's one of the 8%. Look what I did.
So the 8% comes to servers. They do say, however, 39% of people say it's acceptable to take the pen out of the hotel room if you're staying in a hotel room.
No, absolutely. You take anything you want out of a hotel room.
Completely different.
I tried to take a picture off the wall once. When I was, I was single, I was a little crazy, and my friends and I thought the picture on the wall was ridiculous, and we had to have it on some night after drinking 2 liters of wine coolers.
And you tried to take the
that
picture?
thing was like bolted on there
I'm
like
sure it was.
nuts. I'm like, somebody's tried this before.
They also did a survey of restaurant servers and asked them things that they secretly hate. Like when you walk in and sit down on a table that hasn't been cleared yet, and you just kind of move the dishes to the side, and you're like, "Yeah, come get these when you're ready. We're going to take this table." When people insist on sitting outside, yet they're still complaining about the temperature, the noise, or the bugs. Like, hey, idiot, you wanted to sit out here.
What if, back to the other one real quick, what if it's a seat yourself, it says please seat yourself, and that's the only open table is the one with the dishes on it?
I think that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
If that's the only table available. I mean, I know.
Otherwise, why would you sit at a table with dirty dishes on it?
Right. I mean, I know, like, anytime I go out to eat, when we're done, I pre-bus. I always stack the dishes.
You are like my husband.
I always put everything into a pile.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
He
pre-bus 100% of
Charlie,
the time.
he wipes down the table. He said, "You know what, Kelly? I swear." He wipes his side down. He goes, "You know what I want them to say when they come clear our table, Kelly? I want them to say, that guy's the cleanest person we have ever served." He does. He cleans everything on his side of the table.
If I've got, I mean, I don't know how messy your husband's side of the table gets.
It's not.
Can you not get
He's
food in the mouth? But I
neat.
mean,
yeah.
I'll definitely, I'll wipe the crumbs off into the plate.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know.
The 2 or 3 plates on top of each other, the silverware all on the plate.
Yeah.
Any sauce cups or anything go, so it's all kind of stacked up there.
Very nice.
Let's see. Other things that servers hate. Parents who let their kids throw stuff everywhere. Yeah. If your kid is leaving a mess behind, pick up after them.
Yeah.
At least get the big crumbs. I know they'll come with the vacuum, but don't leave just crap all over the floor.
Or let your kids run around the restaurant.
Yep. When people don't say please or thank you, they say, I'll have this or I want that. Yeah, throw a please or thank you in there. Come on. Complaining about prices. Servers have no control over the prices. Nothing you can do there. This is obviously a given when you come in 15 minutes before they close.
Oh,
no.
No.
Everyone in the restaurant hates you.
Yeah.
The server, the cooks, the manager, everyone in that restaurant hates you. And then they hate the cheesy jokes. When they come, get your plate, and it's empty, and you're like, oh, I hated this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Avoid the restaurant dad jokes, okay? We've heard them all. We don't need them. But I would love to know, did you ever serve, Kelly?
I never did. I worked retail.
Okay.
And that was rough.
Yeah, I did that.
I cried during my shift on more than one occasion. I did work the PBX, which was answering all the phone calls that came into the service merchandise on 161. I absolutely hated that job, and I walked out one day and never went back. I never quit. I didn't pick up my last check. Nothing. I walked out the door and I said, I'm not doing this for another minute, and I do not want contact with a single soul that's inside that building. So that was it for me. It was rough. Customer service in any way, shape, or form is a rough business.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And it has only gotten worse.
Yeah.
The thought that the lie that the customer is always right has been buried into our heads.
And people who take advantage of that suck.
Oh, absolutely. I love that a lot of times now when you call, like I am selling my house up in Detroit, and so I'm disconnecting all of my utilities, and I can't remember if it's Consumers Ed or DTE, one of them, but when you call and you go through the automated system, they literally say, we would love to help you and have I can't remember the wording, a pleasant, seamless conversation. Just know that we will not take abusive language to our employees.
Oh, wow.
They have a right to hang up on you.
Oh, that's
and
good.
I totally agree.
Yeah, that's good.
Completely agree. Thick, you're a server ever, a bartender?
I bartended at the Alrosa Villa, which was a long-time legendary rock club here. But funny thing, it was like nonstop. Either I was filling pitchers of beer or I was pouring shots. That's what they drink.
Right, yeah, that was the whole thing.
It was pretty easy.
And probably people are feeling pretty good,
Yeah,
pretty happy, tipping you pretty
it's a
well.
rock club, man. Everybody was
What about
cool.
Wendy's, though? You worked at Wendy's. That had to be a rough gig.
Wendy's, yeah. I mean, that's fast food. Sucks, man.
I had a blast.
That was high school.
Working, yeah. I met my now best friend of 30-some years working at McDonald's together. We worked a drive-through, and it got to the point we worked at McDonald's when they first created the 2-window system.
Oh, yes.
Where you ordered, you pulled up and paid, and then you pulled forward and got your food.
Yeah.
And we worked every weekend morning, and I can tell you that when you work there that long, you tend to memorize that the number 1 is $3.60, or the number 5 is $4.80.
Yeah.
Right.
So at that point, you don't really have to ring it in because your buddy's the one handing out the food.
Oh.
We'd make an extra like $60.
Oh, yeah.
Tip.
Yeah, it's a tip.
Yeah.
If I'm working the front window taking the order and you're working the second window handing out the order,
right?
We're the only two
Yeah.
involved in the transaction.
Why are you paying a middleman?
No reason to pay a middleman.
Yeah, I worked at Wendy's with my 2 best friends.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Made a little bit extra money. Yeah.
Definitely made free food, that's for sure.
I like this. 2196 says, it's part of my uniform. Give me my effing pen back. Yeah, see?
Oh,
Part of
yeah.
the uniform, yeah.
Yeah. Did you work in a restaurant? What was that thing you hated? Working in the service industry, I think, is something that everyone should do, at least for a year, to learn how to handle adversity, to see how people treat those people so you don't go out in the world and treat people like that. Because, yeah, this whole customer is always right thing has gotten a bit out of hand. People need to back down a little bit. I want to know if you were a server, what's some of the things that you couldn't stand? And I love this one. 2196 says, I worked at a Japanese steakhouse. People let their kids run between the tables with 2 hot grills. Like the hibachi grills?
What?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No.
Keep your kids under control. If it's not Chuck E. Cheese, your kids should be sitting down. I get it. Kids do what they do. But come on. I remember my parents used to tell me, my parents said they didn't eat together for 3 years because I was such a bad kid. One of them would walk me outside, one would eat, they'd bring me back in, the other one would take me walk outside so they could eat a little bit. Because I was, a screamer and a yeller. And they didn't want to have the rest of the restaurant put up with that. So they would walk me outside and have to walk me around.
Yeah, that's great that your parents did that. We got a little bit of a lecture every time we went out to a restaurant. And my dad basically said, we knew we were in for it if we screwed around at all. Like, no even slurping out of your straw to make a noise. That was not, it's forbidden. Like, you have manners, and if you act up, I will haul your butt out to the car and spank you.
Yep.
We knew it, so we stayed in line.
Patrick brings up a good point. He says, I worked at Arby's for 10 plus years. The entitlement of people with coupons drove me crazy. Yes. Dude, your coupon is expired. I get it. You just got it in the mail. Maybe it got lost. Or the other company takes no, your coupon's expired.
Yeah. The end. Deetra says she hates it. People who think it's okay to touch her, especially when they grab her arm or her hand. Like, they think it's okay to make physical contact, even if they think they're being nice. Like, you don't touch people.
Don't touch,
It's weird.
Katie was a nurse, or is a nurse. She was also a server in the past. She said, don't take my pen. I can break your finger just as easy as I can fix it.
Marissa says, snapping your fingers at me as a bartender.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, you should just know that. You should just know that's rude.
Matt says he worked in a nursing home while he was in high school, and he said the family members who rarely ever visited were the biggest complainers about service. Like, they'd call all the time complaining, but never bothered to visit their loved one.
I can totally see that.
Neon said, don't bury the silverware with the trash. We got to rummage through that.
Oh, no.
Yep. Yeah, that's a bad one. Absolutely. I remember someone... the text, I lost the text here, but they said, as a somewhat older woman using the word ma'am. Here's the only thing I'll say about that. I sir and ma'am everyone out of respect instead of just saying hey. But then I also make a point to ask their name after that.
Right.
Like, ma'am, can I get a drink? And just so I don't have to call you ma'am. Can I get your name so I don't have to call you ma'am anymore? But I sir and ma'am everybody.
I am like, I don't mind ma'am at all. To me, what I don't like is when somebody calls me young lady, because I feel like it's patronizing. Like, I'm not young. Like, I get it. Like, you're trying to like be cute and quippy with me, but to me, that drives me crazy. I'm like, call me ma'am. I'd rather have a ma'am than a young lady.
Really?
I don't like that. Yeah. It feels very like, I'm going to make you feel better about yourself right now by calling you young lady.
What's your stance on like honey or sweetie?
I'm fine with it. I love it. Call me honey. Call me sweetie. That makes me feel like, oh,
you don't have a
so
problem
friendly.
with that?
Not at all.
Okay.
I don't like young lady. That I feel like I want to like throw a punch.
That's so interesting.
If
that
it's
you
a
would
dude, mainly, because I feel like there's some kind of like weird. It's patronizing. I already said it. That's what it is. Period. Patronizing.
So young lady is patronizing because you don't consider yourself young, but sweetie is fine, even
totally
though
fine. Honey,
really?
Sweetie, sweetheart. You can even call me Toots. I'd rather that than young lady.
Now everybody's gonna be calling you Toots now. You know that.
Sweet
right?
cheeks? Can we go with sweet cheeks?
You can. I'll take it.
Matt said he worked at Dairy Queen for 5 years. And he said, you wouldn't believe the Sundays after church crowd were the absolute worst to deal with.
You hear that, like the worst tippers and all that too.
Yeah.
I don't know. People don't know how to behave in public, even when you go to church.
And now, 3 things you need to know before you go.
The criminal trial for the truck driver involved in the deadly Tusky Valley bus crash is being delayed. Hearings for 61-year-old Jacob McDonald that were scheduled for next week are now pushed back to May at the request of his attorneys. McDonald is facing 6 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide and other charges related to the multi-vehicle crash on I-70 back in November of 2023 that involved students on a band trip. 3 students and 3 adults were killed in that collision. Meta is laying out plans to build the longest undersea internet cable in the world. The Facebook and Instagram parent company expects the multi-billion-dollar project to be completed by the end of the decade. So this will be more than 31,000 miles of cable that will connect the United States. What do you plug it in New York and then just drop it down into the Atlantic? Like what are we doing here? This is wild to me. I don't understand how this would work, but it connects this by cable connects the United States, India, Brazil, South Africa, and other regions. Already about 95% of all global internet traffic is delivered on undersea cables.
Yeah.
Like lying on the seabed.
Yeah.
But across the ocean?
How do you do this? I don't understand. Where does it originate? At what point? What is the point of origination? And how are you dragging this?
Right, you just roll it out and then plug it in and drop it with a weight, and then you roll out more, connect the 2 ends, drop it in the water.
And
like on a giant spool.
Who gets the service call on that? Hey, listen, nobody's ever been to that depth before, but you need to go down and fix this cable.
And I'm not trusting Sebastian, because that little bastard's going to come around and just snip it with his claws. Cut the cable in half.
You guys saw Jaws 2, right?
I saw Jaws 1.
Oh. You see it?
Yeah,
with
a long time
the
ago.
big electric cable that he pulled up with the boat that was dragging the bottom, and he pulled that giant cable up out of the ocean and then held it up when the shark tried to attack him, and the shark bit into the cable and
got electrocuted.
Got electrocuted. That's how they killed Jaws and Jaws 2.
Well, that's just stupid.
Was it a real representation of an undersea internet cable?
Well, it wasn't internet at the time, but it was
cable.
It was electric. It was to get electric from the mainland to the island.
Okay, yeah, it blows my mind. I need to see a draw. I need a map of this. I think it's fascinating.
Okay.
At the Dubai Tennis Championships this week, 22-year-old Emma Raducanu was facing Karolina Mukova in a second-round match, all right? So this young girl, Emma Raducanu, she walked off the court and went up to the umpire, the gal in the giant chair. And she started sobbing. Her shoulders, like she couldn't control herself. She was like shaking and sobbing, and then walked behind the umpire's chair and just stood there. Her opponent, Carolina, ended up walking over, talking to the umpire, and then went back and put her hand on her shoulder and was comforting her. So everybody's like, what is happening? Nobody knew. The announcers, nobody knew what was going on. Well, it turns out Raducanu has a stalker. And for the last 3 years, this guy has repeatedly showed up at her home in the UK, leaving unwanted notes, unwanted gifts. She has had a restraining order on this guy since 2022. But here she is in Dubai, vulnerable. This guy bought a ticket.
He was in the stands.
And was in the stands, and she saw him. So she turns around. She's getting, mid-match, and there he sits. So obviously she freaks out. So listen, this girl, it was this young woman, 22 years old. She pulls herself together. She gets a towel. She wipes off her face, and takes a deep breath, and goes right back out onto the court and finishes. She ends up losing the match.
Why wouldn't you point him out and be like, get him the F out of here?
She did.
Oh, okay.
That is part of how she was able to get back, but it happened so fast, I guess. You can see the umpire on her walkie or two-way or whatever she's got there. And then basically told her he's gone. They got him. He's out. And so she was able within a couple minutes to get back out on the court. But this poor child, almost 22 years old, you could see it in her face. She was just absolutely distraught. And God love her for
But then
finishing
you're walking
the match.
around Dubai knowing he's in the same city.
Yeah. And the WTA, the Women's Tennis Association, says he will be banned from all future matches.
Good.
If this is pending a threat assessment.
Why doesn't he go to jail? She's got a...
Yeah, she's a restraining order against him.
But of course, she's in another country. I don't know if it's...
I don't know that it transfers.
I'm sure it is, but let's say you can't come within 100 yards. If you're up in the upper seats, you're further than 100 yards away. I mean, I don't know the legalities of it all, but...
Talk about people who should not be walking around amongst us. Yeah, you need some serious, like, psychological intervention. Like, go away for at least 5 years and get yourself some help. Those are your 3 things.
Oh, this ticks me off, and it happens quite a bit, especially nowadays, where basically a company knows they have you, so they can basically do whatever they want because they've got you locked in.
Yeah.
You're going to use their product, especially if you're one of the only products out there, and one of the biggest companies in the world, it looks like, is doing just this. Wallet Hub just went after Google and dove a bit deeper into the algorithm, if you will, because they are claiming that Google is intentionally making their product worse because they realize it's more profitable to do so. Basically, if you go to Google and you type in what you're looking for and you find it within a split second, you're spending less time looking at the ads on Google. So, the idea is they're drawing out the process and not giving you the best search results, so you have to spend more time on Google looking for what you're looking for, which means you're going to see the ads more, which means Google gets more money for ad revenue, making them more profitable. Wallet Hub posted a bunch of data to support it. They say Google even did their own study in 2020 and found that worse search results would not result in significant loss of revenue and might even make them more profitable. You know, normally there's a action and reaction. You make your product better, and more people buy it,
right?
And you make more money. But there are cases like this where it's actually more profitable to make your product worse. And again, they're not the only company doing this, but they're finally being looked into, because what are you going to use besides Google? They know you're not going to go back to Bing. Like, is Ask Jeeves even a website anymore? I don't think so.
I guess Yahoo.
Yeah, Yahoo, but no, it's one of those things where Google is just ingrained.
I know, yeah,
in what we do.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what they do to their product, we're going to use it. That's so aggravating. So aggravating. So, will you see slower or less interesting or less specific Google searches? Have to wait and see. Wallet Hub thinks it's going to continue to decline because, again, we got nowhere else to go.
You guys suck.
Right. Pretty much. 99.7 The Blitz.
Now, let's see if we can learn you something. Sit up and pay attention.
All right, let's make you a little bit smarter than you were when you woke up this morning. Little tidbits of information you can take with you throughout the day. I remember reading this somewhere a while ago, but I haven't seen it in a while. And this is just so crazy to think about. The first human beings were around 66 million years after the Tyrannosaurus Rex. However, the T-Rex didn't come around until 7 million years after the early dinosaurs. So we are closer to the T-Rex than the T-Rex is to the beginning of dinosaurs.
And we don't know what was before that.
Right. That's absolutely crazy. Speaking of before and after, Judge Judy debuted closer to the moon landing than to today. It first premiered in 1996, which was 27 years after the moon landing and more than 28 years from right now. Again, that's just mind-blowing to think. Kleenex tissue were originally invented in 1924 as a way to remove makeup. But so many people wrote the company saying they were using them as disposable handkerchiefs that's what it then turned into. They shifted all of their marketing by about 1930, and now we use it as, blowing your nose. Yeah. Let's see. Usain Bolt, fastest man in the world for a while. And he was at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. And he was very concerned about the way that food would affect him. when you try new food or you're not used to something, it can really affect your gut. And he was very worried about that. So he stuck with what he knew and what his stomach could handle. So he ate about 100 McDonald's chicken nuggets every day.
He's on the Chad Johnson diet.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's got the protein, obviously, from the chicken, but he knew his body could handle it.
That's chicken.
I'm sure it is. He won 3 gold medals at that Olympics.
Man, that's incredible. Because, Chad, I mean, that's all he ate. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I didn't know that.
McDonald's, yeah. He's like, you eat anything you want if you work out like I do.
That's true.
But what about the insides? What about the heart, the liver, the organs? I mean, doesn't, just eating that alone?
I guess. Well, I mean,
maybe that's a long-term effect that he hasn't felt yet.
Could be. But, I mean, you had Supersize Me. He went to the doctor every day when he ate
that's true.
McDonald's, and he didn't see, there was a little bit of bump in his cholesterol and stuff, but he didn't see anything crazy going on.
Man.
But 100 chicken nuggets a day? That's a lot.
Is that all he ate?
I don't know. It just says 100 chicken nuggets each day. So
From McDonald's.
From McDonald's. Yep.
All right.
And finally, as a golfer, I know all too well what a mulligan is. Yes. I have used them many, many times. But a mulligan, the do-over basically in golf, you hit a bad shot and you're like, I'm taking a mulligan, meaning I'm going to hit the ball again. It became around because of a guy by the name of David Mulligan in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. In the 1920s, he hit a bad shot and he decided to try it over again. So his friends started calling it a mulligan after his last name. I'm going to take that little tidbit with me for the golf course. There you go, learning some stuff on a Thursday morning, 99.7 The Blitz.